𝐿𝐼𝐍𝐼𝐻 does.
Todd Schroth here with
Betancourt here with Team Bet.
Daniel and Todd. Happy Monday, everyone. Daniel, you're full mode today. Hey, everybody. Hope you have an awesome weekend. Happy Monday, as we say.
Good morning, everyone out there.
Welcome to Agents Who Win and Daniel and Todd. And we just want to bring you some quick coaching tips. We are on week 7 recap of our 12-week success program. So I want to bring you some of the top tips for open houses.
Yes, week 7's been awesome. We learned all about how to execute the perfect open house. And so I just want to reiterate that this book and this training that we've been going through has been super comprehensive. It's an awesome manual. Once it's all complete and you've filled in all the answers and you've watched all the videos and read all the downloads, it's like the perfect manual that any realtor could want for their real estate business. So just wanted to plug the program quickly. Top 10 open house mistakes that agents make. That's one that we were going to go over today very quickly. I'll get the odd ones and you get the even ones, Todd. How about that?
Perfect.
All right, number 1, not actively lead generating for open houses. So this is you always want to be canvassing, network with your agents. Network with your agent friends to see if there are open house opportunities that you can do for them. Network even with customers that you've met at open houses that might be interested in open houses that are coming up. You don't want to make that mistake, not actively lead generating.
Sometimes you don't have any listings, so you want to go and they say scouting your listings at your firm. And that's what I tell our team. If you don't have any open houses, if we don't have any active listings because they are selling quickly, check with your firm because there might be an agent who's got one coming who doesn't do open houses and you're more than happy to do it. And it'll impress their sellers that they're actually getting one when the agent who's listing it doesn't do them.
A lot of agents don't love to do open houses. So sometimes an agent will be open to the idea of you doing an open house for them because it helps the listing. It helps everybody involved.
And if you're doing it for the agent, those are your clients. They're not the agents. So make sure you set that the standard clear up front that when I do this open house for you, those buyers are walking through our mind because I'm the one hosting. Because I've had some people say, well, the other agent wants 25% referral fee and stuff. Like if he wants it, he can do his own, or they can do their own open house. Those are your clients that are walking through there.
Right. If there's any terms, just make sure they're black and white. You don't want, that's the last thing you want to do is damage a relationship with an agent over some disagreement that wasn't clearly communicated in advance.
Yeah, be clear up front on that stuff. Number 2 is not incorporating virtual open houses. I think virtual open houses are great. Obviously, they're a lot easier on time because I only have to schedule from 12 to 12:30, log on, do the tour, ask if there's any questions and kind of just stay in line talking about the house, talking about the market, watch the comments for questions, answer those, and then move on. Those are easy to schedule because you can create the Facebook event and really push it out to the neighborhood, to the community, to your friends, to your people that have gone to your other open houses. Shoot them a Facebook invite. Here's the event on Saturday. We'd love to see you online for this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can come up with a couple of virtual open house ideas right here, because this is a question that I see a lot of agents asking in some of the realtor groups. How do you conduct a virtual open house? One, like you're saying, it sounds like Facebook Live. Basically, you schedule it, you want to promote it, so that way there are virtual attendees, and then you basically walk through the house and tell all the features of the house at your virtual open house. That's one way, right?
We're running through this show through StreamYard, which allows us to go live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So you can hit 3 targets of social media platforms with this. Then you can share the YouTube link to other medias, or drop the YouTube link on different platforms or groups inside of Facebook if you wanted to hit a few more areas. But find a program like this will allow you to stream it to several channels.
Yeah, this program, StreamYard, is awesome. I wanted to bring up the fact that StreamYard, you can play a video. So if you wanted to do a virtual walkthrough of the house, and you can walk and talk, and you can record that video, and then you could play it through a system like StreamYard through multiple venues like you just talked about, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube Live. And then as the viewers are engaged with what you're showing, they can communicate, and you can live from your desk be answering the questions that they have or communicating with them in the chat because the video was pre-recorded and you're communicating with them if there are any questions. So that's another way, and you can continue to use that same recorded video over and over. You know, you don't have to always be at the house for the virtual open house.
Well, and kind of think about it this way too. If I want to host the open house every day during the week from 12 to 12:30 when people are on their lunch hour or whatever, I could do it on Monday and not have to be there Tuesday through Friday and work on my other appointments during that time, and be live at my desk while I'm working on stuff and monitor the open house and schedule it out. And it looks like I'm there every day doing stuff.
Yes. So that's, you know, just some ideas for virtual open house. I'm number 3. Okay. Number 3, not stepping up your game. This is true with anything. You always want to step up your game. In the open house, you're going to learn some strategies. You know, your 50th open house it should be much, much better than your first open house you ever do. So you always want to learn strategies. One way is at the end of this, Todd's going to offer a download that has all the tips and tricks for an open house, and do your best to check off all of those things on the checklist when you do an open house. That's a way to step up your game. And while you're conducting these open houses, you're going to learn things that, you know, what went well, what didn't go well, what you could have done better. And you want to continually step up your game. So that's number 3, not stepping up.
Big on all of it. And part of stepping up your game is really leveling up your promotion of the open house. And what they talk about is balloons on the sign so they get more attention. Don't just put one sign in the ground, one sign on the street corner. You got to put 2 or 3 or 4 to get the attention. Social media, like we talked about, marketing on social media, hitting all the platforms, Instagram ads and Facebook events, and then inviting the neighbors. Do your 10, 10, 20, 10 on each side of the house and 20 across the street. Invite them for, like, your open houses from 12 to 2. Start at 11:30. Invite those neighbors over for a private tour of the house. Have a conversation with them, because one of those
schedule it in advance and announce the upcoming appointment.
Yep, exactly.
Create some buzz.
And then number 4 is not asking for the appointment at the open house. And what they mean by that is, Daniel's coming to my open house. We've had a conversation. You want to create the next follow-up. Daniel, when is a good time to follow up with you about your home buying experience and what you're looking to do? Tuesday, 2 o'clock, that's awesome. You want to create and build rapport with them, ask a lot of questions, and then when you're done, ask for the follow-up appointment, because you want to, you know, get as much attention to them as you can at the open house, but you also want to make sure you have attention for the other buyers as well, so you could have some concentrated one-on-one, not worrying about that other person coming inside.
The more appointments, obviously, you can make at an open house, the better it's going to be. One of the real estate experts in our group, Ricky Carruth, he used to say, you know, his goal was to make a connection with at least one person at the open house, like, you know, just kind of take that rapport to the next level. So just make goals for yourself in these open houses. Well, that's what I'd recommend.
Jeff Osborne, the same thing. His, like, every day when he leaves, before he leaves the office, he's trying to get an appointment for the next day. Where's all of his appointments coming from? Open houses.
Right. Yeah. So that's awesome. Number 5 is not practicing your scripts. So the more open houses you do, the more you get to actually practice your scripts in front of customers. But you want to, you know, a good idea is if you have an accountability partner in real estate, a realtor that will talk with you maybe a half hour, a few times a week, you can make an appointment and you all can practice scripts with each other. Open house scripts, cold calling scripts, FSBO scripts. That's always something that you want what you want to say to roll off of your tongue easily, where you're not fumbling for words.
And I want to call that scripting. You know, when I wrote it down, it was like not practicing scripting / conversations, because it's not that you're trying to, like, hi, this is Todd, would you like to sell your home? It's creating it to a conversation so it looks normal. And you're going to take the words, modify them to the way you want to speak. But listen to yourself, record yourself, look in the mirror when you're talking so you can understand the speed of how people listen and everything else. Number 6 is not arriving at least 30 minutes early. Get the lights on, the music on, you know, the open house notebook, and invite the neighbors. I've always, you know, I'm not always, because that'd be really bad, but I've done some open houses where you're running late and, you know, the people are following you, putting the signs up, and you don't have a chance to get your stuff out, bring your stuff inside, set it out so it's a nice environment. A couple of our agents will go to the house first, get everything set up, lights on, music on, then go put the signs up, and then come back in the house and it is ready to go.
Since we're confessing, I have been guilty of that as well. And, it's not a good feeling when you're walking into the door and, there's a car or two in the driveway or, parked out on the street as you're walking up, opening the door. So we're human, mistakes happen. But if you can plan to, what I try to do is leave an hour before the open house. That gives you a half hour to put out signs and get there a half hour early. If something goes wrong, if you hit a traffic jam or something, then you've allowed yourself the padding.
Well, and I've had to pull over a few curbs to, a few times because cars won't let me stop for a second to get that sign out. So it's like you do a couple of U-turns trying to get that rolling.
And think ahead also. If you have to stop at the grocery store, you want to bring cookies and snacks and things like that, obviously you have to plan for that. Don't wait until you don't stuff it into your sign installation time.
Yeah. Nope. Let's dive into number 7, Mr. Oddman.
Number 7, not previewing similar homes. So it's really important when you're doing an open house for yourself or for another listing agent. Sometimes if it's your listing, you're familiar with the comparables nearby because you've gone over them with the seller. But you might be doing an open house for another listing agent where you haven't really looked at the comps, and then someone goes into the open house, asks you a couple questions, and you're totally stumped. So you want to familiarize yourself with similar homes that are actively for sale and ones that have sold quickly, and even bring some of that data with you because some of the customers are very statistical, and they'd like to, that information is important to them.
So one of the other things they talked about there was know the market, like you're talking about, and just, you can talk because some of those buyers are so concentrated on that neighborhood. They sometimes know the market better than you do. And if you don't know the competition, they're going to see that. And then they're going to go talk to somebody else who knows what's going on in the community.
It's an instant rapport builder. If someone goes there, whether they live in the neighborhood or not, if they ask you a question and you're able to share, 123 Main Street, 2 doors down, sold for this 3 weeks ago, and the home across the street just went up active yesterday, and here are all the details about it. It's just instant rapport. They're in the neighborhood looking at your open house. They're obviously interested in that neighborhood. So if you can share with them information about the neighborhood, things to do, information about the schools, they're going to love it.
The number 8 is not following up with your open house visitors. Obviously, if you're there spending 2-3 hours on a Sunday, without your family and enjoying some relaxing time, and you're going to be working, make sure you do your follow-up because that's the whole point. And if you didn't get a chance to connect with them at the open house, connect with them after. Check with them each week until they tell you to go away or buzz off, because the more you can stay in touch with them, learning about what they're doing and having those conversations, perfect. Even get them on a drip campaign. If you don't have the time to do the follow-up, get them on a drip campaign out there.
Right. You're always going to increase the effectiveness of the open house. It's like what we say about church. Church shouldn't be a 1 hour on the weekend thing, and then you forget about it until the next weekend. You want to continually follow up throughout the week.
I feel blessed for the next 7 days.
All right. So number 9 on the list is not inviting neighbors to the open house. So, inviting the neighbors to the open house is a great way to become the neighborhood expert, to become well-known in the neighborhood, to unveil someone who's considering selling soon. So be sure to invite the neighborhood. You could do that through circle prospecting, through door knocking, through mail, or through all of the above. Be sure to do that. And, in the long run, it's going to result in more listings for you as well, because then when that open house that you've done on your listing sells successfully, it won't be awkward for you to call those neighbors that you met and share with them the great news.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge one. And, it's also becomes your database, those people in the neighborhood. If you could do more in the same neighborhood more often, then you're going to become that community expert as well. So especially getting to know those neighbors, because I've done open houses in my neighborhood where people are just coming and want to say hi, or, hey, we were looking for Todd because we were talking about selling our house. I didn't have his phone number, whatever. And old school, like, let's go see the person. Let's go see the person in person when they see your signs out front.
Right. Exactly.
So, number 10, open houses. Not seeing open houses as a way to attract. What do we all want? Listings, sellers. So you're going to build your database and make weekly contact with the neighbors by inviting the neighbors, of course, asking about their living situation. Number one, hey, where do you guys currently live? Oh, we live up the street. You know, if they say they live in the apartment complex, cool. I don't automatically know they're renters. And then if they say they own a home around the corner, cool. Are you planning on keeping that for rental? Are you planning on, you know, what are you guys looking to do when you move from that property? You can ask for a listing appointment at the open house is another one. Show your value in door knocking. I think if you're trying to attract the sellers and they see you're out there doing that, they're going to see you're a hustler and, you know, really trying to find the business and digging deep to make the connections.
And if you don't make the other mistakes that are listed on this list, which means you're following good practices for your open house, it's going to be a successful open house. When those neighbors come to the open house and when you're communicating with the neighbors, they're going to be impressed by what they see and experience. And it's going to attract potential buyers who are buyer leads for other homes in the neighborhood. So if you have a prospective seller that visits your open house, you're going to be the first person they think of because they saw all these visitors at your open house and you recently sold a home in the neighborhood. They want to sell a home, so they're going to see you as the source of buyers. So for sure. Todd, how do they get the download that you want to offer?
Just make a comment on the Facebook page, give us download, and we will get it over to you guys. We'll private message it to you. If you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, same thing. Just shoot us a message through Facebook or on those platforms, and we will get the thing to you and get things rolling.
Do you want to cover the quick list of things to bring to your open house?
Yes, let's do the table of contents. I'll do odds. You could do evens.
Okay, sounds good.
Number 2 is long. Number 1, bring the agent version of the MLS printout because it's got every detail you could need, taxes, details, all that good stuff.
Also known as the broker synopsis.
Yes.
Okay, number 2, any and all documents the listing agent has attached to the listing. So this includes disclosures, floor plans, survey, an aerial view of the lot, utility info. But you don't have to bring, the HOA documents if it's a telephone book thick. Bringing the link on how someone can investigate or research the HOA documents is adequate.
I mean, put it on a Google Drive and where it goes back to you every time someone wants to request access. That way, they're getting it, and you get their email because they want to request access, so they have to get it from there. Number 3, a CMA of the neighborhood if possible. Pull all the actives, pendings, and solds. I would want to say for the similar square footage and size of the home that you're at. I'm in a community of 3,000 homes, so it would be crazy for me to pull all the last 6 months of sales from everything that's 1,500 square foot to 3,000. I would want to pull, if I'm doing a 2,500 square foot house, everything around that size that I would use to comp out that same home.
Something that I've done in the past is just a one sheet summary, and it says community summary or market summary for this community. And then, you type in the community, and that would have how many homes are currently active, how many homes are currently pending, how many homes have sold over the last X amount of days. The homes that have sold in the last X amount of days have sold for an average of X per square foot and X sold price to list price ratio. Features that buyers are attracted to in this community are, and then, so it's a template, it's a system, it's a repeatable thing that it's easy for me to fill in. It's easy for me to give to an agent and say, fill this out when you go do an open house and have it with you. And, it's a way where even if there were 50 sales in the last 30 days, we don't have to print out all 50 sales. We have this community summary in case someone wanted those details. Number four is
very similar to what you just talked about.
Yeah.
A CMA. Sorry, I'll let you go.
I'm number 4.
I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to take over your spot.
Number 4, a CMA of similar homes in nearby neighborhoods. So it's always great to have nearby neighborhoods when you're sharing with someone the benefits of living in the neighborhood that you're hosting. You can compare and contrast, but also if the customer is interested in buying in another neighborhood, you also have information about that one to share with them as well.
So I like that because like where I'm at, we let Civil Point, Sweetwater, and we have Wekiva. If I'm in Wekiva doing something, the move up neighborhood is Sweetwater or Sable, similar school districts. So if they're not looking at something like this, and I can tell them this is what's on the market in the other community. And then go ahead, Daniel.
Well, I mean, so yeah, I mean that's what you want to do. You want to have information for all the different neighborhoods, know about the schools, know about what there is to do, fun nearby, because some of the visitors at open houses are driving from out of town and they don't know the neighborhoods as well. So, you know, it's all going to help you build rapport, and it's just going to make your open house a big success.
And number 5 is anything of interest in the neighborhood, zip code, or et cetera, including amenities. So obviously, you know, the schools you're going to want to have, if you're out in Winter Garden like yourself, you're going to want to have information about Disney and time the fireworks are going off, or, you know, Universal, or, you know, just a community like downtown Winter Garden when they have the events there, because it's a cool downtown area. I can't say anything much about our area. But you want to like know what's going on there, so you can say these are the events that happen in our community. I think you guys would love it around here, because Friday at 5 o'clock they've got a beer festival, or they have the farmers market, or they have this or that.
Yeah, so many times at open houses, I always ask them what their familiarity level is with this area, and if they say no, what are you doing after this? Okay, well, there's a great farmers market that's going on. It ends at 2 o'clock. I'm going to text you the address where you can just head right there. Or if you're looking for a cool lunch spot, here, let me text you a few options for you when you're done here. You can check them out. So they can actually see these amenity areas that will benefit them wanting to live in that community.
So I wanted to wrap up with this comment that someone posted on our Facebook page about why you should show up early to the open house. She had it happen yesterday. Emergency at home, got it to the open house right when it was starting. There was a line outside. The worst thing you could have happen is you're trying to shuffle in, and people are like, "Man, this lady's so unorganized." Can't control what happens on our times, but that's what you got.
And if you're doing an open house for another listing agent, I would say it's even more important to be there on time.
Yes,
I had it happen to me once where an open house was scheduled. And it was like 30 minutes after the open house time, and I was getting calls saying, "Are you doing an open house today?" I thought you, and then you know, so then I have to scramble and figure out what's going on. So really important not to be late for your own open house, and more important, not to be late if you're hosting an open house for another listing agent.
Exactly, because it shows really bad on you and them. So definitely there. We're going to be hosting a class on open houses. I believe it's on the 26th with Jeff, and we'll try to stream it live on the Agents Who Win page. So hopefully we can get that rolling. But Jeff is the king. I call him the king of open houses. He does, of course, wear a crown and a cape when he's doing them, because he thinks he's the king. But this gentleman sells 30 homes a year just off open houses. That's all he runs his business on. No additional marketing. So if you want to learn some good stuff, dive into that.
Yeah, Jeff is our family open house king, and he does all of these things on this list, not the mistakes, but the opposite. He does all of the positive things on a high level, and he also has some extra tips and tricks that he shares when he does these open house presentations. So look out for the invitation to that, and you won't want to miss it.
Yep, definitely. Well, guys, appreciate it. We're running over a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff you can do for open houses, and I'm glad we were able to dive into that today and provide some value back to you. You guys have an awesome week ahead.
Take care. Have an awesome week.